Today we're going to talk about Level Up Pro Wrestling School's first year anniversary, what happened on that day. We're going to give a quick review on AEW's All Out and the new pay-per-view that's already been announced, and we're going to count down the clock for the weekly television show, and we got many more to discuss. So grab a cold one, and welcome to Deleted Wrestle Zone.
Are you ready? Get up, get up. 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 Get up, get up.
All right, so Nico, you have been aware I've been going to this place called the Level Up Pro Wrestling School Showcase, right?
Yes, it's located in San Diego.
Yeah, it's here and down in La Mesa.
Right.
They just celebrated their first year anniversary since it opened up. I wasn't there on the first two showcases, and I went to the third one. That's how it all began. But I have seen at least 4 of the wrestlers that are part of the Level Up. I saw them at a different show event called Shining Boarding Wrestling.
Yes.
And then from then on, I started enjoying coming to this. But I didn't realize who is the main instructor.
Who's the main instructor?
B-Boy. If you guys don't know who he is a SoCal legend here in the independent scenes. You may have seen him play Bale at Lucha Underground. So he's a real nice guy, lay back. He'll throw a little joke or two on you. Just to have fun with you, just to be your friend.
Harmless rib.
Yeah, kind of like that. So this past Sunday, it was their first year anniversary, which is a very special day for these guys.
Okay.
So what happened is they had this catchphrase, like they do in bar wrestling, where they have like private something or welcome to the bar or that type of thing. You know what I mean?
Yes.
They do the same thing in their showcase.
And what's theirs?
Well, this one they had. We still here, homie.
We're still here, homie. I like that.
Yeah, so here's a little bit of the highlights that happened on this first year anniversary.
Take me down to the paradise city where the grass is green and the girls are pretty. I want you, please take
Nico, what'd you think?
Oh, damn.
Pretty talented wrestlers, right?
I really like their work. That ending though, I didn't see that coming.
So if you guys should know, I showed them a little something that we call, or should I call it, the scramble. You see, what happened is it started out with these two wrestlers, Mike Camden and the Ground Zero champion Andy Brown. I haven't been to Ground Zero yet, but these two are natural heels.
Nice.
So basically, Mike Camden wants to get his hands on Andy Brown for 5 years. So, but what happened next? It's more. Well, they double queued themselves. So let's start from where they got double disqualification from there, and you'll see what happened when the scramble began. So here it is.
What's that? What? No, no, no!
The referee has called for a double disqualification.
5 years! I know! I've been waiting for this for 5 years! I know, but you didn't come from the low blow! I've been waiting to do this for 5 seconds! You ruined this, Jimmy! You ruined it! What is wrong with you? Get up here, Jimmy!
Come on, Jimmy!
Leave us alone! Wait! Hey! You are! Get up, Jimmy!
What'd you think of the scramble?
Double cutter.
Not to mention
That's all
B-boy making a way to the beeline to the beer.
Oh yeah, then the beer. But that double cutter, that was like the.
You know, I wish
icing.
someone would have thought of the idea. Play the Stone Cold theme. It would have been a lot, appropriate right there.
Approach.
I mean, Jimmy's like the ref. He's like the fan favorite over there when he's doing.
Okay.
So it's kind of like when you go to bar wrestling, you see Rick Knox.
Yeah.
He's like the fan favorite too.
Okay.
So basically, Jimmy is their version of Rick Knox. But he's a nice guy. He plays along great with all the other wrestlers. He gets into it. So that's how the first year anniversary was. It was a fun time. They even had fans interact with all the wrestlers.
Nice.
Like majority of the wrestlers there that you saw, they're not majority of them. They're not actually from the Level Up. They're from other wrestling schools. They're from Santino Bros Wrestling School and other locations.
Okay.
So they just call them up for help to help them out with their guys. And, of course, 3 of their prominent wrestlers in Level Up just graduated.
Okay.
Yeah, they call themselves 8-Bit Lit. There's player 1, Michael Hopkins. He's actually the Ryu of the group.
Nice.
Then there's J2, Juan Mattilioli. He's kind of like Tron with the helmet.
Oh, okay.
And then there's Casey Douglas. I don't know how you pronounce, but I like to call him the cool guy or the hype guy.
Okay.
But yeah, those guys are great, especially Juan, because I found out, weird, me and him actually went to the same high school but graduated different years.
Okay.
And we both have the same name. I'm like, what is this? Do I live in some alternate universe or something?
Impossible, no way world.
Yeah, so those guys are great. And, of course, it was a lot of fun to see this event. But I am planning to go see more of these guys. Now, I heard that this entire month of September, they're going to throw every showcase every week.
Okay.
So if any of you guys in the area in San Diego want to see these guys, you can see them this coming Sunday at the Level Up Pro Wrestling School. It's only $5 for admission.
$5.
Yeah,
Can't
$5. So you can see them this week, but if you can't make it, you can go the next week, or if you can't make it for that week, you can go on the last week.
What time on Sunday?
5:30.
5:30.
So
5:30 doors open. 5:30 show starts.
show starts.
Oh.
But they will let people in once they get everything ready, because they got to make sure they got all the wrestlers there who has already been booked for the day. Because there are times there have been some changes.
Yes.
But I don't know because you can still follow them on their social media. You can follow them on
That's right.
Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. So, but also here's the best part. They're not paying me to do this,
Oh.
but I feel like I should, to give them a helping hand.
Got a free promo, y'all.
If you guys know anybody who has an interest to become a pro wrestler, this is the place to go.
If you're in San Diego.
Yes. You can look it up on their website. They'll put you in a class. Just follow the instructions by B-Boy. He's the man. So, he'll give you a set of rules. Just do the work. So if B-Boy's watching this, here's my help for you, man.
There you go.
So, that is it I got for Level Up, but I will do more highlights for these guys in the future, but hopefully, or no, should I say, I am scheduled to bring in some of these guys as special guests.
There you go.
So stay tuned for that, guys. This is going to be awesome. So,
Check it out.
right now, Level Up is done for now. Let's keep the show running. All right, so AEW, another successful show with All Out. I have to say, this is appropriate time for these guys.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know if you heard this. It's official with them, with this one. All Out is now the official WrestleMania of AEW.
Ah, that makes sense. And then they don't have to be competing with, the whole area that, January 4th and then WrestleMania time. They got their time. And
Yeah.
at the end of it's been the last two's been, well, as far as Sears Center goes, the end of August, beginning of September type thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's what I heard, and that's what I'm very excited to hear. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So let's talk about the matches that were on All Out.
Oh, okay.
So if you know the 21 women battle royal, the winner was Nyla Rose.
Mm.
I mean, everybody has been talking about her.
Mm-hmm.
All out, like she already had 2 straight losses in Double or Nothing and Fyter Fest, but this one was a win that she needed completely because remember, AEW made it clear, wins and losses matter.
Right.
So they're sticking to their word.
Mm-hmm.
Now the next match from the buy-in, Private Party defeated Angelico and Jack Evans.
That's messed up.
I know.
They should have been in that.
But here's the thing. I think they're trying to build another heel team.
Oh, okay.
Because at the end of the match, Angelica and Jack Evans attack Private Party. So it would make sense of this loss would be like one of those times like it's time to transition to a heel. You know, that's the way I would see it. I don't know if you can picture that.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess I can see that.
Okay, now let's go to the main card. SCU versus Jurassic Express.
Mm-hmm.
If you guys don't know who Jurassic Express is, consists of Luchasaurus, Jungle Boy, and Marco Stunt. But I was impressed with the standing ovation from Jurassic Express. They were like the fan favorites. Even though they did not win the match, everybody still loved them. I mean, they see a lot of potential with these guys. But if you guys don't know this, Luchasaurus and Jungle Boy known each other almost 10 years ago from the same wrestling school. When he was just a little Jungle Boy. So yeah. Now, the match that people have talked about, Pac defeated Omega. But this one was the biggest shocker of them all.
What?
He defeated him via submission. And people were like, what?
Yeah.
I mean, it's like, you didn't expect that. I mean, people were putting their money on Omega on this one.
Nah.
You know?
Nah, Pac. I knew Pac was going to win because the whole thing with Noah, he's supposed to be showcased as undefeated.
Yeah.
That's why he backed out of the Hangman Page match. So I already knew he was going to win against Omega.
Yeah. And, okay, next match, we have the triple threat match with the Cracker Barrels. Jimmy Havoc defeated Darby Allin and Joey Janela. This match was brutal.
I'm gonna have to see that. I saw a GIF of what's it called? Darby Allin dark sliding on someone.
Not to mention, you see everything from thumbtacks, tables, everything, including Havoc's staple gun.
Mm-hmm.
It was so, like, mayhem, But there's a part where Havoc kind of like slingshots over Joey Janela while he's on the chair, and he's still on the chair. You gotta watch that.
I'm gonna have to. I'm a big fan of Jimmy Havoc right now.
Yeah. Now, next match.
And Darby Allin. Yeah.
Next match, Dark Order defeated the Best Friends. And if you want to know, they had help from the Creepers.
Oh yeah, that's their
know.
little stint.
Yeah. So basically, it was like people were voting for Best Friends, but I've always had that side of what I get the feeling Dark Order is going to win this one. I've always had that side of me.
Okay.
But the best part, what happened at the end, the Creepers were taking Trent Beretta back. To the back. I don't know where. Lights turned off, and guess who showed up?
What's his name? Pockets.
The Sloth, Orange Cassidy. He actually ran and went a suicida with his hands in his pockets.
Yeah, he did that.
It was crazy. And then the Best Friends gave him a hug.
Mm-hmm.
But there's a story to this. It turns out that Orange Cassidy and Chuck Tilley were training partners back in the day. So it would make sense. So basically, they added a new best friend.
Oh, yeah.
Which,
or DRL 2.0.
Yeah. Now, this next match was determination who would face Nyla Rose on October 2nd for the first ever AEW Women's Champion.
Which is?
Rio versus Hikaru Shida. And the winner of this match was Rio.
Rio, yeah.
So basically, everybody were like enjoying this match.
Mm-hmm.
Thing is, I know there were those that are saying Hikaru Shida should win it, but let's put this on the factor. We have seen Rio on all 3 of the pay-per-views.
Mm-hmm.
We haven't seen Hikaru Shida since Double or Nothing.
Yeah.
So we have to put factors into this that would make sense to everybody. Yes, sure, we would love to see Hikaru Shida win it,
Oh, yeah.
but we cannot ignore that Rio has been participating majority of the time. So keep that in mind right now, okay?
Right.
You may not get what you want, but there's factors you cannot ignore. Now, when the match was won, guess who showed up? Nyla.
Rose.
Giving her presence known that she knows that this is a big moment for both. And Nyla has that look in her eyes like nothing's going to stop her.
Right.
But Nyla hasn't forgotten what happened to her at Fyter Fest, where Rio pinned her. So this is going to be more like a great rivalry between those two.
Oh, yeah.
You got the female versions of David and Goliath.
I'm going to kill it.
Yeah. Next match. Cody defeated Shawn Spears. And of course, in everybody's mind were wondering who did Cody was going to have on his side. Now, before I get to any further, they actually had, for the Nightmare family, everybody were dressed up kind of like in Star Trek gear. You see MJF with that yellow and the gold and black colors. DDP with the red and black. What's her name? Oh, yeah, Brandy as 7 of 9 from Star Trek Voyager.
Okay.
And, of course, it had Pharaoh there. Yeah. So, basically, it was still unclear who that Cody was going to bring along to stay in the ring. So, he picked MJF. Now, here's the part that I'm going to stop for a little bit, but there's a part that you haven't seen yet. Apparently, the pyro spooked Pharaoh.
Yes.
That was something that should not have happened.
Right.
But Tony Khan did say that he was not happy how the whole thing turned out to be. So they're going to make clear that they're not going to do this mistake again. Because everybody loves Pharaoh if you ever got to meet him. I mean, I haven't met him yet, neither do you.
Not just that, but like I can see why Tony Khan was upset because like the thing about AEW show live events, they have this whole all-inclusive thing going on where everyone who are whether it's autism, PTSD, or any of that, where they're where they can easily disrupted by loud noises, they have something to remedy that and not be ejected out of the shows. So I could see where like something like this happening with Pharaoh, even though he's a dog, still the dog is a part of the show, and he's in this all inclusive environment. It kind of like make it, it's like a little bad stain on their thing, like, oh, it's all inclusive, but like we're over here spooking dogs, but still.
So so the match was becoming crazy because Tully was the one. Was trying to make sure that Shawn Spears wins the match, but the biggest surprise was the enforcer himself, Arn Anderson's double A spine buster on Shawn Spears. Tully had that reaction on his face, like, why would he do that? I think he's trying to understand why would Arn Anderson, out of all people, someone he friends with, someone who was teammates with, would help Cody.
A fellow horseman.
So that it was like the biggest shocker of them all. Much like Tully did say this, he knows the roads, but Arn Anderson knows Tully. So psychology thing right there. So Cody won the match. It was amazing, So next match, the Escalera de la Muerte.
Oh.
Lucha Brothers defeated the Young Bucks. Epic match.
That's what everyone's saying. They're saying it's like the best, what's it called, ladder match.
Not to mention, I saw this the day after the All Out. Papa Buck was telling this. You see, Nick put this on his Twitter page. Said this, I'm alive. This is Papa Buck's reaction. Thank God you guys gave your mother and I a heart attack. And then Matt put this on his Twitter saying, okay, Zero Fear is not just a catchphrase, it's a real thing.
Yeah.
At least they have zero huevos. And then Papa Bug again goes like saying, build a ring in the backyard. It'll be fun and safe. You and your brother gave your mother and I a heart attack. I give props to Papa Bug for getting into it. I mean, I know he's concerned for his boys.
Oh, most definitely.
You know, but I know they're proud of them for what they have done. But the best part after the match was the attack of Santana and Ortiz. Keep in mind, they're no longer called LAX.
Have they got a new name yet?
Actually, there is a possibility of a new name.
And what is that?
Proud and Powerful.
Oh.
You see, they've been using that same thing for a while on the Twitter.
Okay.
Now, Tony Khan is looking into this to make it as a potential name for these guys.
Okay.
Because keep in mind, they were known as LAX and Impact. Impact owns the rights to the name.
That's right.
So, as much as we would love to see that name, we just can't see that. I mean, it's the same thing with Bullet Club, that New Japan owns the rights to the name.
War Machine.
Right, that too. So, but we are expecting to see those two again. So we don't know yet what other plans they have, but they're definitely on board to have them, for this. Now, the final match. The first ever AEW World Championship match. If you guys ready for the winner, let's do it.
The winner was a little bit of the bubbly.
Chris Jericho. It was an interesting match. Basically, you got a veteran versus a young up-and-comer. Now, this is the thing that people have talked about. So, this is what they're saying. There are those that rather see Jericho as the champion.
Right.
Now, here's the thing that becomes more that could play a part to it in the future. If Jericho becomes the AEW champ for at least for 1 year, what happens if Hangman Page decides to challenge him again and he wins the title? That'll be like...
Makes sense.
That would be like the epic story where Hangman finally becomes a champion. Keep in mind, he hasn't won any world champion in his entire career. So, we still unclear what's going to happen with Hangman. So, we just follow the stories, how they're going to go with it. But, out of this pay-per-view, it was probably one of the best I've ever seen so far. But, it's still tied with Double or Nothing for me. But I just got to rewatch both of them to see which one will win. Yeah. So, we'll go from that. Now, let's keep switching gears on the AEW story. They just announced on All Out a new pay-per-view. Full Gear. No, it's not about the Full Gear challenge that Hangman Page was involved. There is actually a Full Gear pay-per-view. And they just announced 2 matches. Jon Moxley versus Kenny Omega. They decided to put this as appropriate timing.
Right.
Now, all of you guys are asking, why can't they do it on the TV show? Like, that would be a possible thing to watch, but we need to build up the story, which would make more sense if you understand how they were saying. Because people were talking about this match for a long time. Like, there was no story build-up at the time. But now that the TV deal is going to happen, they can actually build it.
There you go.
And now the second match they announced, the AEW Championship will be on the line and has its second defense. Jericho versus Cody. So, reason Cody got chosen for this, straight wins.
Makes sense.
No, it's 2 wins, 1 draw. The first win was against his brother. The draw with Darby Allin at Fyter Fest.
Oh, that was a draw.
Yeah, and now Shawn Spears. So basically, he has like a good record right there.
Right.
So they're keeping track of who's gonna be going for the title on this
Makes sense.
Now, if you're wondering when is Full Gear gonna be showcasing, it'll be on November 9th. So follow that too. Now, I'm going to pull this out for all of you. As you know, this is the first time I do this. I say, let the countdown begin to October 2nd.
Dun 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 dun. Dun 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 dun. Dun 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 dun. Duh.
So if you have a countdown clock, set it up. Because we can't wait for October 2nd. So that's it for AEW, but we are going to continue with more cool wrestling stuff. ROH, we're getting ready for the next pay-per-view. Death before Dishonor. But the one match we need to pay attention is the ROH World Heavyweight Champion. Matt Taven will have to defend the title against El Toro Blanco. In translation, the White Bull himself. The leader of Los Ingordenables, Rush. What do you think?
It's gonna be epic. I want to see that.
You know, one thing, Matt Taven, he better be prepared what he's stepping into.
Oh yeah.
Because he thinks that Rush will never be champion. But there's one thing he's forgotten about Rush. He doesn't play by the rules.
Nah.
He'll beat you up like a rabid dog.
Oh yeah.
That's what he does. If I was Matt Taven, I wouldn't bring Tweedledee and Tweedledum to help him.
Right.
Because I would say they could try to hurt him, not as much as Rush will hurt them more. Or better yet, he'll probably bring his brother Dragon Lee for backup. Or his other brother, or his dad. A family you don't want to piss off.
Right.
But if Rush becomes champion, at least it proves he is the most dominant force in the wrestling world. Not only here in the States, but in Mexico. I mean, I can tell you stories about him.
Oh yeah.
He started out as a babyface in the beginning of with CML. And then he started to embrace being the heel. And that's the Rush that people like. He's embracing being the heel. And not to mention, he is the leader of Los Ingordenables.
Right.
And Naito's buddy. So, if Rush wins, at least I'll be happy. And, you know, sorry, Matt Taven, your kingdom has fallen
Oh yeah.
to the White Bull.
He's done so.
So, now, let's talk about the contract status in ROH. There's two wrestlers have now been told by PW Insider, or it's an acronym for Pro Wrestling Insider. Was it Unlimited? Well, I don't remember. I'll figure it out. Apparently, Matt Taven's contract expires this month. Now, it's still unclear what day. They only said September,
Okay.
but they never said when. So, I'm starting to think we're getting close to Death Before Dishonor. Could this mean that he could lose the title to Rush, and he has the option either to re-sign with ROH or explore the options? You know what I mean? That's the most likely scenario. Now, it's not the first time we've seen someone who loses title and then they leave the wrestling company.
All right.
You know, it has happened before with many other promotions. You know, so it's always been common. Now, the next person who has his contract expires, we have talked about him before in our earlier episodes. And I'm talking about the villain, Marty Scurll. Now, we were told, ever since the Elite left, that his contract expires in April. And then they're saying this month and that month. It was like driving us like crazy, you know. And now they're finally saying is November. Which is like, okay, so it would make sense. Now, I just talked to you about this, I think it was last week?
Yes.
We're not that far off with New Japan's for the Super Junior Tag Leagues.
Right.
Now, the reason I say this, Marty Scurll's a junior heavyweight. But there is one more person in Villain Enterprise who has competed in a junior heavyweight league style. And we're talking about the Mercenary, Flip Gordon. Now, if Flip Gordon and Marty team up for this tournament and later on in October, this could be like maybe the last hurrah with Marty.
Yeah.
You know, because we still don't know what's going to happen once Marty's contract expires. Because we were told that he got an extension. Now, once he leaves, it's still unclear. Is he going to go with re-sign with ROH? Because I know that they're trying to pick up the pieces where the Elite left off. You know what I mean?
Right.
Or he'll go to AEW to be close with his closest friends, the Elite. Or go to WWE because of his girlfriend, Deanna Pizarro. You know, it's still unclear what scenario he'll take. Is he still going to sign with ROH? Or he's going to go with AEW or WWE? So basically has a fork in the road. 3 choices to decide.
Right.
But I know some of you viewers watching are thinking he should go with AEW because they need him. You know, and Matt Jackson posted on that whole thing I just texted you about the list of wrestlers that he would love to have Marty there. You know, he's like the biggest sensation out of the UK that they need. You know, and they're not lying. You know, not to mention they have their own YouTube channel,
Right.
Villain Enterprise TV. They're like using a spoof of being the Elite. But I seen the first episode. But I hope they put in more a little bit while Marty's still with ROH. So we will follow up more on the contract status with both of these individuals because we still don't know what's going to happen once their contract expires. If Matt Taven's going to still remain with ROH or go somewhere else, or Marty will remain with ROH or go with AEW or WWE. So
I think the shocker would be staying with ROH. That'd be like a real shock.
for Marty?
Oh yeah, for Marty.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is this, Villain Enterprise have been becoming the hottest sensation.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, it's not the Elite, but at least it's something new and fresh.
Right.
Which is something that ROH needs to do more. You know, bring in new ideas. If like they act like they have negligence not to attract more fans. You know, because the Elite, they actually brought that attention a lot.
did.
And they just didn't value that much with them. But if Marty decides, maybe that'll be part of his thinking thought. If he does it, he could make ROH something better.
Yeah.
But we just gotta wait and see what happens. So that's it, what we got for ROH. So we'll continue more. All right, the last thing we're going to talk about, since I already talked about contract status in ROH, this is kind of a not of unusual, but more like, how do I say, not concern. More we need to explain more what's going on. Because it's more you hear information, you start talking about it.
Oh yeah.
Now,
More rumors come out.
yeah. So, Pro Wrestling Unlimited actually put this out on their YouTube channel. They talked about 3 individuals that their contract status is not exactly how it appears to us. Now, the first 2 we're going to talk about is the Lucha Brothers. They're not 100% fully signed with AEW. Now, you're probably thinking, why not? I mean, they should have been. That may be true, but there is another factor I can put in. Let's go back to the Cruiserweight Classics with WWE.
Yes.
If you all remember, Zack Sabre Jr. was involved in that tournament.
Kota Ibushi too.
Yeah, but this one I'm talking about Zack Sabre Jr.
Ah.
Zack Sabre Jr., there's no doubt he's been considered as the best tactician in the world. This is the guy who loves to work with independent promotions. Doesn't matter where. Doesn't matter if it's in Mexico, Japan, the UK, here. That is what he likes to do. Now, WWE were willing to sign him, but he asked only for one condition, which is the one thing WWE made a rule, that they will never allow any of their talent participated in any independent promotion.
Mm.
Now, you got to wonder, now that I mentioned this about Zack Saber's situation, is this the same kind of scenario we're seeing with the Lucha Brothers?
Oh.
I mean, Nico, what do you think?
Well, since you put it that way, I see that now. That makes more sense that they're not all the way, for lack of a better term, all in with AEW. For this most likely the same reason. I could agree with that. They're not really they're new at being a tag team. They're mostly known as being a singles, but they've had a lot of matches this year as the Lucha Brothers, and they've had a lot of matches in different promotions. So just based off of that, I can surmise that they enjoy having that freedom to go wherever they want to do the craft that they love, which is Lucha Libre Wrestling.
Yeah, and here's the thing. They have been considered as one of the best tag teams in the world. They have held every belt known to man.
Oh, yeah.
Except for WWE, because we know they're never going to go there.
And the IWGP.
Oh, yeah, that too. Well, they said they want to go to New Japan, but we don't know if they will be interested in them.
Right.
But the problem is, would they consider them as junior heavyweights or heavyweights?
Pentagon, Heavy, Rafe, Junior.
That would be an unusual thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, so as much as we would like to say they should just sign with AEW, at least they could go with AAA. I'm like, yeah, that is true. But the thing is this, a lot of wrestlers would rather stick with the independents. I mean, it's nothing like people say, oh, the independents is a bad thing. It's like, no. There is nothing wrong doing independent work.
Cody showed us that.
Yeah, I mean, that's why he built AEW, to show that the wrestling world is for everyone, And not to mention, the one thing I hate is Triple H saying he wants to obliterate the independent scenes. To me, there's no way that's ever going to happen.
No.
Not a lot of the independent promotions are going to tolerate with Triple H's word.
Oh, no.
They would rather fight than just let him get away with it. Now, the next person on the contract status is the one person I did not expect, Tenille Dashwood. Now, let's talk about her history. We all know her. She was known as Emma back in W when she was in NXT and in the main roster, but we all know that she didn't get things done with WWE. They didn't give her the push that she needed.
Right.
And then she came back, what was it, when ROH decided to go with the first ever Women of Honor tournament, which made a huge impact. But sadly, things didn't go her way in ROH. Apparently, if you remember, she has a type of skin condition that I can't even pronounce that put her on the sideline. And that skin condition also affected her left arm, which was bad. And many people said that she should have been already the Women of Honor champion. And it never happened. I mean, which we all can say is a sad moment. Now, we were aware a couple months ago that she was released. But we still don't know where she was going to end up. But last month, she just made her presence known that she was going to Impact. But what we did not realize, she's not either signed 100% fully with Impact. Now, if you guys know, we have watched All Out. Tenille Dashwood participated at the 21 Women Casino Battle Royale. And she was there. According to what Pro Wrestling Unlimited said, that the AEW and Impact were in talk about borrowing her to be part of it.
Yes.
So it was like, okay, no big deal. And of course, she was eliminated like any other type of wrestler. But we were not aware what was her contract status. And this was also of another unusual situation. But there are those that were talking about saying, why did she sign with AEW? I mean, she could revolutionize the women's division there too. I mean, there's no doubt in our minds that that's a best thing for her to go. But, like I would say, only Tenille Dashwood can tell us that. You know, that's one of those things. I mean, what do you think, Nico?
Considering that her contract is kind of like up in the air, it's kind of her deal right now is kind of like Marty's pretty much. Her talent can make any like promotion, what's it called, a dominant force in the women's division, basically. Like she could make it. She could make the women's division more legit in AEW. She can revolutionize it in Impact or go to ROH. Her talents, like really, like she can go wherever she wants.
Yeah, but all we can do is just wait and see what happens. Now, the last thing I'm going to talk about before I end it, it's not even on the board. We're going to talk about Kylie Ray.
Oh.
It's not even on the contract status category.
No.
Now, I know many fans are asking, why is this happening? We just don't know. I mean, we can try to speculate, but speculation doesn't get us nowhere.
Yeah, that's where the rumors come around.
You see, nobody likes rumors.
Nah.
Me, I hate them.
Nah.
If I hear a rumor and it's not true, I just do what Gibbs does from NCIS. Head slap.
Mm-hmm.
That's basically me. I'm the Gibbs in the whole picture. I don't head slap him. That's my other best friend. So anyway, we have seen Kylie Ray. She looks more like who could have been a huge star with AEW.
Oh yeah.
And we just saw she had a great pop at Double or Nothing. You know, like fans were adoring her, screaming her. It was great. And then we find out she was scheduled to be at the buy-in for Fyter Fest against Leva Bates, but all of a sudden we get an announcement saying Allie's taking over.
Oh.
Now, we didn't know what was that all about until we were told it was an undisclosed medical issue.
Mm-hmm.
As we tried to understand, I think we were thinking maybe she needed to take care of some things.
Oh yeah.
But we just didn't know what type of medical issue it was. And we haven't seen her since then. She never showed up for Fight for the Fallen. We were all thought like everybody else, oh, she's going to show up and All Out. She'll make her comeback return. Didn't happen that way. Until after the event, Tony Khan was interviewed and somebody asked him what was the status with Kylie Ray. And, of course, he said that she asked for her release, which they granted her. It was an amicable split.
Mm-hmm.
But Tony did not go into details on why she asked for it. And as you should know, she actually closed down all her social medias. I'm assuming Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. And it's just been announced that she retired from pro wrestling. I mean, right now, I don't think, to me, it matters if she goes back. All matters that we hope she's okay.
Oh yeah, like mental health is number one. Honestly, despite like despite if you love what it is that you do, whether it's wrestling or whatever your career is. But if your mental health is getting in the way of that, then it's best to do the thing that Kylie Ray did and just kind of.
I mean, if this is really the case, then us fans need to respect her.
Oh yes, 100%.
I mean, we can't just go out and say, "Hey, Kylie, come back to wrestling." No, we can't do that. The thing is, I always say this to my family: your health is more important.
Oh yeah.
You can't just put that to the silent, because if you do, you make it worse.
Oh yeah.
But if Kylie needed to do this, we need to respect her wishes, respect what she's asking. Even though she never talked to us about this, I think she felt, I don't know, that many of her fans would be disappointed. Maybe it's true. Maybe she felt that we would be disappointed about it, but we need to understand.
Real fans will understand.
Yeah, we need to understand this. These people are human. Every wrestler in the world, doesn't matter, like I said, anywhere in here in the U.S., Japan, Mexico, we're all human. Mm-hmm. Because people, when we look at wrestlers, we think of them as gods.
Oh, yeah.
And that's a thing that we need to put to the side.
It's a Tanahashi quote right there.
Yeah. We need to put that to the side and look at the human factor on these people. And Kylie Ray is a human being. You know, we wanted to see more with her, but we need to respect what she's asking, even if it's silent. You know, if she's telling us, guys, I can't do this right now. I need to do this right now for me. If that's what she's asking in a silent mode, we need to respect her wishes. You know, but all we can do is pray that she'll be okay. That's all that matters. Even if she can't come back into wrestling, all that matters is she's okay. So, if you guys are watching, please keep that in mind. They're only human. So, that is it what we got today. So if you like what we talked about today on this episode, leave a comment below, subscribe, click that like button, and on behalf of J-Rod,
Nico,
we must bid all of you adieu, so goodbye, mwah, and have a nice day.